Let's all rise, pledge to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, good evening. July 2, 2012. It's one of our early in the month meetings, which is kind of problematic sometimes, meaning the reports are not quite off the press from the prior month. And but before we got started on the formal thing, we've had some unfortunate news within our staff the past couple of weeks. Dan Strive, our highway foreman, lost his elderly father, who was an old Red Hook resident who had moved to retirement out in New Mexico. And then last week, our full-time deputy clerk, Lara Hart, lost her mother after a long battle with cancer. So I thought, just out of respect and fairness, we just pause for a moment of silence for those respected employees and their losses. So just do a moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you. As far as regular business, clerk has circulated the minutes from the June 4th and June 21st meetings, 4th being the regular meeting and 21 being the workshop. Were there any additions, alterations, or comments? Hearing none, accept the motion to accept the two sets of minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And moving right into Clerk Cole, can you give the treasurer's report, please?
Balances as of June 30th. General fund, $690,241.66. Water balance, $16,873.33. Trust and agency, $15,169.58. Resource recovery, $1,653.22. Petty cash, $85.48. Village green, $2,533.16. Hard scrabble, $2,813.38. Health insurance, $3,936.80. And monthly expenses, general fund, $252,645.61. Water, $9,831.33. Trust and agency, $15,169.58. And resource recovery, $3,924.99. And just to note, taxes are coming in pretty heavy. Today was the last day without penalty because of the way the calendar ran. And the general fund expenses are so high because it's the beginning of our budget year. We paid all our insurance bills and our first payment to the fire company, and that's why expenses are so high.
Okay, thank you. And what we do, we'll be setting up a meeting with, we have an outside auditor and then a controller and Cindy, and we owe the controller's office a report at the end of each fiscal year, and those numbers will be pulled together. We usually have to wait a little bit to let some of the bills for June flow in into July and then get that together. So we'll be having, not the board in general, but the finance folks will get that together for us to look at and analyze that. But you can see in the attachments to her report the status of the budget right now. Everything's at very low percentages of budget, which is nice to see. Let's see, next we have the police report, but they're not here yet. We'll forego that for now. Trustee Trapp couldn't make it tonight. His job called him out of the Red Hook area tonight on a major project, so he's not here. But planning and zoning, he submitted something here. Let's see, I have it in my pile. Bear with me a moment. It's interesting as far as building permits issued. We had 9 issued for the month of June. They list the locations. If anybody wants to know them specifically, you can look at it. Certificates of occupancy issued was 1. Certificates of compliance, 3. Municipal searches shows as 2. Orders to remedy, 0. Stop work orders, 0. Court appearances, 0. As far as inspections, the inspector did 7. And that's the extent of their report on that. They do detail fees generated for the month. Ranges from searches to building permits to fire inspection fees. It looks like for the month of June 2012, they brought in $1,612.36. So pretty busy up there.
Let's see, we'll jump to trustee Norris to do the Parks, Recreation, Senior Affairs, and Library Relations report.
Okay. Not all the reports came in, so this is going to be a little shorter. Garbage report for the month of June, we had 6.83 tons of single-stream recycling. Just a reminder, we're all single-stream now. So it's not broken down, it was just 6.83 tons of single-stream recycling, 13.27 tons of garbage. I don't have the figures for the number of tags sold, but we paid out $1,267.05. I don't have the library numbers in, but they are holding their summer reading kickoff program this Friday, July 6th at 6:30 at the Firehouse, and the theme will be, it's like a Birds of Prey show with owls and stuff like that. So that'd be fun. Upcoming events were deep in the heart of the bicentennial. Yesterday, I flew in a plane at the aerodrome. It was free day for all Red Hook residents. Coming up is a puppet workshop. I'll just read the info on that. It started this past Saturday. Local artists will conduct 2 weeks of daily story-building workshops to create giant puppets and other elements for the Red Hook Bicentennial Community Heritage Day Parade, which will be July 14th at Montgomery Place. The workshops are free, geared towards adults and teenagers, but everyone is welcome. Participants may drop in for as long or short a time as their creativity, energy, and schedule permits over the next 2 weeks. The workshops will be held at St. Paul's Lutheran Church and scheduled from noon until 6 on weekends and 2 to 8 for Monday through Friday. And then the parade will be part of Community Heritage Day, which will be held at Montgomery Place from 10 to 5, Saturday, July 14th. These are hot off the presses, which has the full schedule of events. There will be demonstrations, performances, activities. Our own Joanna Treeblosser will be impersonating FDR twice. And the parade will be happening at 4 o'clock, the puppet procession. The rain date on that is July 15th.
Can you comment here? I know there's a shuttle bus option on this.
There is a shuttle bus option.
Is that listed here? Have you read that part?
I have not. It was on the front. It says free bus from Red Hook and Tivoli. There is a website which is redhook200.org, which is pretty informative and should have the full detail on the shuttle bus. If I had to guess, I would say it was from the Red Hook parking lot, but I'm not.
Yeah, there were 2 stops, and offhand I don't remember them, but like Jen said, go to redhook200.org and it gives the up-to-date details. And there is a rain date, and this one is such a big event, the next day, Sunday, July 15th. So.
Right. That would be cool. And then the last thing is at Abrams Park, our free concert, Tuesday, July 31st. The Rhinebeck Legion Band, I think they come every year. I believe that's a Tuesday, and they'll be playing at 7 p.m. at Abrams Park. That's all I have.
What is the Dan Budd?
The Dan Budd grass-fed potluck. We're working on it. It will be August 18th. It's going to be about 5 o'clock. We're trying to do something a little bit different and have it be a community potluck and performance. So it's still in the early stages, but we thought since he's grass-fed and I've always wanted to do a community potluck, so we're going to give that a whirl.
But the date is set the 18th.
The date is set for August 18th, yep. Oh, and Hardscrabble Day will be Saturday, September 22nd, and we're meeting fast and furiously, trying to get everything.
Getting closer.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Okay. Let's see. Chief Truitt come in.
We skipped the police report there while nobody was here, so do you want to go with the report first, and then we'll talk on your news and our news?
So I want to provide both, I guess.
Okay.
On the police report, unfortunately, you're aware, our secretary has been out through family illness for the last few weeks, so she normally compiles all the information for us, so we don't have statistics part of it. Just a couple things to bring your attention. We've had a couple larcenies as of late. One actually appears to be a kicking burglary where into someone's house nearby, and prescription medications were taken in another one. So, again, something we were highly concerned about, the street value of some of those prescription meds out there. And unfortunately, some people know if you've had some type of ailment, had some surgery or something, you might have some pain medications in particular. So, just to be aware of that. Again, nothing to be highly concerned about, but just something to be aware of. Other than that, we've pretty much had a status quo month, nothing out of the ordinary. And on the same news.
I could lead to that. Before, Chief just came in late, but we did have a moment of silence for Lara's mother, and that was, for the folks that don't know, Lara is the secretary that works in the police department. That's what he's referring to. But she did come back to work today, which is good for us and probably therapeutic for her too, in a sense. But what we were talking about too, the chief has worked with the village of Red Hook for 3 years, and he brought our department from something that needed help and a lot of improvement, and we're very proud of what he's done for us. It's almost exactly the 3 year plus 3 or 4 weeks since I think you first came into the shop, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But the sad news is, he handed me this afternoon, just about half an hour ago, a letter dated today, where he's indicating, in line with different plans he had and developments here, he's resigning his position as chief of police effective the end of business on July 13th. We have had some meetings about it, and I was waiting for the formal letter just in case something might have changed, but it's here now. The chief does say, and each of you have a copy of it, he feels he's accomplished what he came in to do, and like I said, it has greatly improved our department. What will happen is, we've been talking, and he's cooperating with this to get it as a turnover, a changeover, as simple and as effective as possible, where we'll still have the management of the civil service sergeant, and as mayor, I hold by rule the chief of police authorities too. We did offer some consultative options, but I don't think that's in the cards right now from what I can see. And we're extremely proud of the level of service and the work that Jim did. As you may know, he's retired from the town of Poughkeepsie, and he's an academic professor type person. He leads the criminal justice department over at SUNY Ulster, and he brought that street and that academic to us and took our department from, I would say, the 50s to the 2010s in about 3 years, and it was really great. What I want to do is, next month, since I didn't have this, I wasn't sure it was going to happen tonight, but I would like to give you some more respect and more honor for what you've done for us, and if you could see fit to come back next month, I would love that. And,
It shouldn't be too far away.
So we'd like to give you a proper send-off too. But, thank you from me personally, and I don't know if the board wants to say anything, but the work that you've done has been unbelievable. And what I was getting at before was, you probably spent hundreds of hours a month working upstairs, and we had him on a part-time salary number, and it was just personal things and internal things. It's time for, he's making a decision, he's moving on. But thanks so much for what you did for us.
And I just want to say, too, I appreciate the support of the board. None of these changes really could have happened without the support, and especially in this first couple of years where a lot of vast changes were happening, and I really appreciate that. And certainly to the community that gave us a lot of support as well, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Let's see. That being said, Deputy Mayor Kowalczyk, highway and various infrastructure reports. What do you got for us, Mike?
Now I'll start with the Village Green Committee, monthly report for June 2012. Current balances for the Village Green Committee's related budget accounts are as follows. Community beautification contractual expenses, we have $4,000. This is money we use to plant trees in our 2 annual spring and fall planting seasons. Shade tree contractual, we have a balance of $19,100. We will be adding another $2,900 in donations from the Red Hook Area Chamber of Commerce, Red Hook Rotary Club, and Kearney Realty Development Group for the purchase and installation of the benches, and this will be added to the $19,100. And most of this money will be used for the benches. Village Green Committee checking account, balance is $2,438, or $83.16. There were no Village Green Committee meetings held during the month of June. Back to the benches, 23 benches were ordered from Parkitex Incorporated on June 5th. They anticipate a 4 to 6 week delivery time. Concrete slabs, mountings, and bench installation services will be provided by A.W. Kuhn & Sons. The estimated cost of the Red Hook Village Green Committee bench project, $14,697.24 for the benches, $3,200 for the slabs, and total of $17,897.24 for the complete project. And this money has all been provided by a 2007-2008 New York State DEC Urban and Community Forestry Grant. This is a reimbursement that we got for doing this. Most of the work for that grant was done with volunteer services, and we were reimbursed the cost, and so we put that into the benches. Then we're adding another $2,900 in donations for that, so this is all from the grant and from donations. The bench models and colors have been selected by the Village Green Committee in February. Bench locations have been reviewed and approved by all property owners where benches will be sited. Maintenance agreements, right-of-way reviews, installation details, and bench locations and maps have been filed and approved by the New York State DOT. And the benches will be located on various sites on North and South Broadway, East and West Market Street, Red Hook Commons, and Veterans Park. And we're expecting these to be installed by mid-July 2012. So we're all looking forward to those. The Village Green, or the Village Highway Department monthly report. The Red Hook Village Sidewalk Project. And this is the federal highway sponsored one. MAD Engineering, our village engineer, submitted the contract award documentation package to the DOT for review and approval on May 25th. The DOT approved the recommended contractor on June 20th of 2012. A mandatory pre-construction meeting is scheduled actually for tomorrow, July 3rd. Pending scheduling, construction is anticipated to begin in mid-July, and construction is anticipated to be complete no later than August 31st. Having received from the village an updated Perm 17 for the continuation of the insurance coverage, the DOT has extended our work permit to May 31st, 2013. The Village of Red Hook has awarded Foreman Construction out of Peekskill, New York, the Red Hook Village Sidewalk contract on June 28th for the amount of $177,937.81. This project includes the installation of 2 ADA mid-block crosswalks on South Broadway and a new sidewalk on the south side of West Market Street from Phillips Street to Benner Road. This project is 100% funded through grants, 80% from the Federal Highway Administration, STP Small Urban Grant Program, and the New York State DOT picks up 20%. A site survey and localized excavation was executed on June 19th with the New York State DOT and the Red Hook Village Highway Department to inspect existing conditions of a storm drainage pipe easement from Garden Street near South Broadway, catch basins to the wetlands behind Red Hook Commons. The Red Hook Village parking lot, striping and stop bars on all the stop signs around the village intersections have been repainted by Easy Street Cleaning on June 12th. The estimated cost of that is $2,710, and this will be deducted from the maintenance of street maintenance general fund account 5110.42.
Wait, Brent, could you repeat that?
The parking lot striping,
Okay.
and then all the stop bars. So at the intersections, before the stop sign, there's a big wide white stripe on there. That's a stop bar. So they repainted all those, and those are all current to the manual uniform traffic control devices. The retroreflectivity has to be subscribed. So this is something we do pretty much every year. The catch basins and culverts were cleaned out in the northwest quadrant of the village by Fred A. Cook Jr. Incorporated on June 12th and 13th. The village catch basins and culverts will be cleared annually based on a yearly quadrant rotation basis. That means every year we'll be changing quadrants and doing a complete rotation every 3 years. So just to keep all the catch basins and culverts continually cleaned. This is something that we're working within our budget and should provide for a better drainage system. And cost for this project also will be deducted from maintenance of street maintenance general fund account 5110.42. 14 new stop signs have been ordered and delivered. All stop signs in the village will be refurbished and or replaced in accordance with the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control, retroreflectivity specifications, and as mandated by the Federal Highway Administration. We are mandated to subscribe and replace our signs and have the retroreflectivity specifications met by, I believe it's 2013. So we ordered 14 new signs, and the 24 existing signs that we do have will be taken down and refurbished at a slightly less cost. And the cost for this project will be split evenly between the CHIPS account, the Consolidated Highway Improvement Program, and the maintenance of street maintenance budget line. We've had some repairs to the T11. This is the International 4600 dump truck. This will be deducted from the vehicle repair and maintenance of the general fund account. And we're looking at, right now, we're trying to receive some estimates for CHIPS projects for the 2012-2013 allocations. And we were allocated about $31,000 from the state for projects that have to last for a 10-year period. So we're looking at some catch basin repairs, repaving of St. John Street, some swales and stuff. So and also some of the stop signs that we're having refurbished. So as soon as the numbers come in, we'll pick the ones, we'll try to get as much bang for the buck as we have and move forward on these projects. We did have some repair on the John Deere compact tractor, and the Red Hook Village landfill is now open for the season. Village residents with permits can deposit yard brush at the landfill on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and permits are available at the Red Hook Village building for $20. No additional revenue was generated from scrap metal during the month of June. I believe he did send in a dumpster full, so we should be getting a check soon for that one. We've generated no money so far for this fiscal year, but since inception of the program in 2007, $11,859.39 has been generated, and the proceeds from this go toward purchasing tools and equipment for the Red Hook Village Highway Department. And residents and businesses interested in donating scrap metal can contact Dan at 758-8600, he's our superintendent, or Cindy Cole at the Village Building at 758-1081, and we'll be happy to pick them up and take it off your hands, and you'll help our highway department move forward on new tools. The Intermunicipal Task Force, the sewer project. The sewer project meeting was held on June 15th. Items discussed was the new 2010 census data, listing population, median household income, and other income demographic data used to determine funding eligibility from the state and federal agencies. Other municipalities in Dutchess County that are also investigating municipal sewer systems were discussed to determine the county and or regional qualifications for funding. New York State DEC regulations for the speedies permit, decentralized sewer systems, and approved types of collection and treatment options were discussed. And we discussed different types and processes of sewer district formations, a village system versus a park county. We also looked at what's available in federal and state grants and loan programs, and we reviewed surface water and water quality testing options and procedures, and we ended up reviewing Amenia Sewer District, what they're having. They're currently under the gun right now to form a district. They've received some funding, and we wish them the best of luck in going through the process. Robert Flores is our other village engineer from CT Mail, and I attended the Regional Consolidated Funding Application Workshop at Columbia Green Community College. The Village of Red Hook is submitting a CFA for the New York State EFC and DEC Engineering Planning Grant, which is a preliminary engineering study and surface water quality test to determine the impact of possible failure of existing septic and cesspool systems within the village. This is what we're proposing. The deadline for submission to the Mid-Hudson Regional Economic Development Council is July 16th. So we've been working pretty hard on that application and moving forward. We've also met with some of the representatives from the Mid-Hudson Regional Economic Development Council. The Red Hook Water Project, CT Mail received the following documents from USDA on June 21st. The review of contract plans and specifications for Contract 1. USDA Rural Development determined the contract documents as prepared by CT Mail acceptable for bid contingent on some corrective actions to be incorporated and or corrected in the contract documents. Currently we're trying to close on our short-term financing through EFC. Our USDA program is a reimbursable program, which means we have to have the money up front to pay the contractor, and then that money is reimbursed by rural development. And this money that we're getting from rural development is a 2% interest loan for 38 years. This is for a $1.3 million project to upgrade our existing well field sites, replace all village water customers' meters, and also replace the heads with radio read meter heads for better security and
Generator.
monitoring,
Generator also.
and a new generator for the well field. So we're hoping to get this out the bid soon, but again, we're waiting on short-term financing to close on that. The task force met on June 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th at the Red Hook Town Building. The task force is currently reviewing provisions of the Centers and Green Spaces Plan, specifically the traditional neighborhood district and the ag business zones, after the 6 to 9 month of its implementation by the Red Hook Town Board. Updates on the Red Hook Village sewer and water projects were discussed, as well as discussions for possible new development within the town's TND. The proposed amendments will be presented, reviewed, and discussed at the Red Hook Town Board meeting during the month of July 2012. And last is the Red Hook Town Economic Development Committee. Both Ed and I are non-members, but they've been asking us to participate in the meetings since most of the work is focused on the village of Red Hook. There was a meeting on June 14th and June 28th. At the village building, we discussed the promotional video, which is about finished, I guess, as far as the editing goes. They're trying to find a voice, they do some voiceovers on that right now. And so we're looking for a possible July premiere of this. This is a 3 to 4 minute movie promoting Red Hook, the village, and the two villages in the area, and what we have to offer for prospective new businesses to come in and residents alike. There was reviews and updates of the status of the former IGA site, different uses for that site, including a grocery store, possible hotel. These are just things that are being discussed right now. New York State Assembly member Dee Dee Barrett's representative attended the meeting on June 14th to discuss local projects that could benefit from the Assembly's assistance. And we also had a progress report on the Red Hook Farmers Market. The Community Preservation Fund, which is now called the Community Preservation Fund and Purchase of Development Rights Advisory Board. They combined two boards, and now a member of that board as well. There were no CPF PDR advisory board meetings held during the month of June. However, there's one being scheduled for the month of July to review and discuss new applicants' requirements, qualifications, and priorities. An intermunicipal agreement between the village and town of Red Hook is being prepared to seek approval from the municipalities to use portions of the CPF for projects being considered for conservation easements and or preservation. So we're still working on that.
Yes.
Good.
How much money is in that fund now?
Probably around, I don't know exactly, I've heard 50, but I think there's two new applicants in right now that are being considered, and so we'll be working with Scenic Hudson, probably USDA, and for the most part, I would think the PDR fund that we have, the Purchase of Development Rights Fund. So there's really not enough money in there, right, in the CPF right now to pay for these two big projects. The Red Hook Town Zoning Review Committee, I'm also a member of that. There were no meetings held during the month of June. The Red Hook Town and Village Shared Services Committee, we've had meetings on June 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th at the Red Hook Town's Highway Department offices. And it's basically a construction meeting and to review the progress of the new highway garage. This is a joint facility between the town and the village of Red Hook. And they're pretty much done with it. They're just going through punch list stuff right now, and a few odds and ends. I think they were paving today the apron in front of the building. So there's still some things holding it back from being occupied, but it should be resolved by the end of the summer and be a brand new home for both the town and village highway department's equipment. A Red Hook Together meeting was held on June 28th at Bard College Student Center. We heard from the Bicentennial Committee. Their activities, which I think Jen had gone through, on Bard College on September 10th, the volunteer fair will be co-sponsored by the Red Hook Area Chamber of Commerce and Red Hook Library and Red Hook Community Arts Network. This will be on September 10th and on August 16th, 17th, or on August 24th and 25th. There will be Farm Day. Activities will include Bard students volunteering to work at local Red Hook farms and a farmer's market. And the 10% challenge, together with Red Hook Together at Bard College and the Red Hook Central School District, will be providing a table at the Hardscrabble Day to highlight the connections between Bard College and Red Hook to emphasize sustainability, relationships, and projects. In Panda, they're preparing proposals to work collaboratively with the Red Hook Central Schools, Red Hook Broadcasting. So that's all in the works, and that's all I have.
Just for the record, one of the first things on that last report page is that local promotional video.
Mm-hmm.
It's being professionally filmed, so it's not a bunch of us roaming around with cameras or anything. And then on top of that, it's being funded by private donations. It's not a village-sponsored, budget-sponsored item. So it's just so people understand that. I guess technically it's not edited or endorsed. I mean, we don't have any final yay or nay on the content, really. It's the EDC is the prime.
The Town Economic Development Committee.
Anyway, let's see, as I was giving the planning and zoning, I found one more page that I should tell people about, especially since in the audience are some planning and zoning folks. I got a notice from NICOM, the Conference of Mayors, and it looks like an interesting, it's New York State Planning and Zoning Summer Schools of 2012, for July 2-5 in Albany, and then there's one July 31st in Fishkill. Looks like what I can do is copy that to your boxes, and even before we leave tonight, if you want to grab a copy.
I forwarded that to Laura to copy everybody.
Okay, because it just came here, I just saw it, so it's, since the dates are kind of close, I thought we'd see if there's any options for it. It's not the only options you guys have, but it's looked pretty interesting to me. And we, Trustee Seymour is no longer with us. We are looking to replace that seat, and I've interviewed about 7 or 8 folks, and I'll be making that decision shortly. But in lieu of that, he's got the Water Department, and I'll have to read that since I'm covering that for now. It's the standard report as far as June 2012. The normal 2 bacteria samples were taken and sent to a lab. And then as far as mundane tasks, they were asked to locate some water lines at 92 Cambridge, 29 Church, 18 Fisk, and 63 Fraley. That's generally for construction or different types of projects where we send out our water contractor to find lines. Turned water on and off for repairs at the old Merritt Bookstore. That's in line with new developments on that site, which looks like we'll be having a new commercial occupant there sooner or later, and so prepping up for that. And the average daily water usage, it's a little bit interesting to me. It's 262,433 gallons. In June, I would say it was way hotter. I think the New York Times today said it's probably 4 degrees average per day higher than normal. So 262,000 gallons as compared to 2011, we used 252,000. 2010 was 243,000. Back in 07 was 294,000. It's that whole pattern of what's driving it. But the water project that Brent mentioned, we're certainly going to have much better control of what's coming out of our wells and what's going through our household meetings pretty shortly. But in that's the extent of the water report. As far as on the agenda there, regular business, I put one item. I came across something in the course of studying the parking lot, the municipal parking lot, and the use of the farmer's market and so forth. And apparently still in our code, it talks about a 2-hour limit on parking in a municipal lot. I think it's not consistent with what we currently use it for. I think we have to somehow upgrade or update our code. We're not going to do it tonight. It would require some thought, some public hearing, and different things to change the actual law. But I don't think we, at this point in time, I never knew that there was an interior limit to the lot. It doesn't make sense for what we want that lot to be. It's kind of designed to take some employee, different things that happen there, people could use it for more than 2 hours, so.
Was this done back when I know they put bollards on the parking lot, and short-term, long-term, you guys saw permits for long-term parking, and it didn't really work out well.
Yeah, it's not clear to me, it's in the code, which goes back to what, 1997, 99, with that old.
No, even longer than that.
It's, so it's, but the reason I bring it up is, I think as a group, we should just think about what the lot means to us, and, but it seems like 2 hours is too short. Let me see if we had and then, let's see, any other business from the board? What I want to do is go into executive session for personnel, but we could go to the public first. So why don't we open up the public comment section? Any questions from the floor? Yes, sir.
I'm interested in knowing where is our retiring chief going to relocate in the future?
Well, he is a Village of Red Hook resident, and he intends, as far as I know, to remain a Village of Red Hook resident. And then he teaches over at SUNY Ulster. He's a professor over there, so he'll keep doing that. So he's not moving away, he's just changing his career path with us.
He's not graduating to a higher professional
No,
position?
he actually, he retired from a much larger department about 4 years ago, or somewhere in that time frame. And he had put his true first career is already under his belt, and he moved on into academics, and then he was helping us here in the Village of Red Hook a bit. So
That was all comprised within the municipal government?
he was from the town of Poughkeepsie, is where he worked as far as his full 20-year career.
So he's not going back down to Poughkeepsie?
No, he's still retired.
There's a lot going on down there.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Last month I brought up a couple of things that sign and pothole and stuff like that. I just want to congratulate you guys, took care of it in 2 days.
Oh, good.
All this
Yeah.
has been taken care of.
I hopped on my bike and did my analog patrol, and then, but yeah, I'm glad that they got it for you. We aim to please. What else? As far as, I think that executive session, like I said, and really tonight, it's been kind of interesting. The summer, it's a little bit of the July summer slowdown period, so we don't have a lot on the agenda tonight. Like I said, when the chief was here, we just got his resignation letter tonight, so I'd love to give him a little something next month when we have a little more time to prepare something, do something like that, like we did for David Seymour and so forth. Do I see another hand trying to raise out there?
No, it's the same hand.
Well, let's give Mr. Zarchuk a shot there.
On your budget, on budget line A, 1989.4, other government support,
Okay.
looks like a breakout.
Looks like a what, Steve?
A grant, a launch, a breakout. It's not really, what is it for?
Let me look.
Page 4,
Sounds like, what was the number again, 1984, you said?
1989.4.
Doesn't ring a bell.
We'll find it.
Page 4.
Are you on an income page or an expense page?
Page 4.
That's a grant you put in there.
1984.
1989,
1989.4,
under buildings.
other government support.
Do you have it there, Cindy?
I'm sorry?
Do you have it in front of
I
you?
do.
Can you explain it to us?
You know what, I'm not sure what that is. Is that one of your grants?
19,
89.4.
1989.4,
budgeted 20,000 for that?
yeah.
There was nothing last year.
The only thing I can think of is FEMA.
I think it is. That's FEMA.
I'm still studying myself. It's,
No,
No.
it's not
Southern Child
FEMA, it
Commission.
was an income,
no, FEMA, I think we put.
as an income.
Yeah.
What's-
I don't deal with that budget line,
Well,
but I gotta check my notes on that if we did something.
One thing.
It could be grants, but usually the grants, Steve, that if we took, there's 2 grants that we have outstanding from the Greenway that totals about $20,000. One is for the pattern book, and the other one's for zoning revisions. So we try to put those, I think I put those into zoning and planning. And so if you look under 8010.44, page 3, you'll see the 2 grants. So that's $20,000 minus 1.1%, which the state of New York does not give us. They, out of every grant that we get from New York State, they keep 1.1% of it. So that's those 2 grants. So that was the only thing I could think of that.
well, Brent, I'm thinking, with the benches, remember how to carry over that one number from?
The benches
Yeah,
went into,
Shade Tree.
Shade Tree contractual. Now
Because
it's,
that was the other question, so.
yeah, that
he
carried over,
explained
that carried over from last
it.
year.
Right,
Yeah,
we carried over
Yeah.
14,000.
because we usually allocate $5,000 for that budget
Right.
line, and since we had the reimbursement, we came in last year with that, and we didn't have the benches ordered, we moved it over to this budget line this year, so that'll be taken down once those the benches have been paid for, we had a discount because we paid, so that's that.
Well, I know it is, it took me a while to focus on it, but 19894 is the Controller's Office code. We, by rule, the village should operate with a 15% budget surplus, and we, at the village here, have been, we don't have that. We need 15% surplus. That line is to get access to a surplus building within our budget itself, so it's a catch line to get
Fund
a
balance.
fund balance developed off the expense side of the world. That's what it is. We added that this year.
All right, so it's a $20,000
Yes,
donation into the fund balance.
Yeah, it's a measure to step into the requirement to get that fund balance right.
That's a good question.
That's all we should.
Anyway, let's see. Is that your only question, Steve?
Brent answered the other
Oh, did you have one more there? What's up?
Same hand, I just want to make mention that they have not been made mention that there's going to be soon state appraisers to come into Red Hook and reappraise properties followed, I believe, by the Department of Taxation to tax on those appraisals. I wonder if the public is aware of that fact as it's being taxed. We didn't mention it, but it's coming about.
Well, now the way our assessment works, what's your first name again?
Harold,
Harold. The way our system works is the village utilizes the town assessor for our assessments. It's a shared type relationship. So he sets the appraisals, the assessments, and then those are subject to review by the state departments that oversee that. So it's locally based. I don't know what you're hearing or where you're hearing it, but it comes from our own local folks that are more familiar with our market, but then it is reviewed in Albany. They don't come in, and there's no mention to us that they're coming in separately. They don't have a direct role here. We go through the town.
the state assessor was present at the last village meeting, and that was his statement, not the local appraiser.
Well, maybe you mean the town. There was no assessor at our meetings, meaning no village meeting here. You mean the town board meeting?
Right, he seems to be separate from the state. Excuse my speaking, but I can't control my voice much.
That's okay. Now, what you say, there is a system where the assessment process works, and the state does oversee it to make sure that,
Not see it commandeer it.
no, they don't have that direct role, but no, there's nothing brewing that we've been advised of. So our assessor gives his report to the county, who gives it to the treasurer, and it's a whole process,
Then you personally stand by your statement.
of course. Anyway, anything else? If we could, for executive session, I'd like to move in for personnel reasons. We shouldn't be long, and then really, we've done public comment, quite frankly, we'll come out and adjourn, and then, sound like Cindy gave copies of this off to, so you guys can get it, or I'll leave it up here if you guys wanna look at that.
Just to remind
Yeah,
you,
shortly.
real quick, June's gonna be very busy here in the village. We'll have the 2 sidewalk projects in July, starting the same time. We're trying to schedule one, the pre-construction meeting for the Community Development Block Grant. And I think they're gonna try to start in mid to late July. The federal one will start same time, and the benches will all go in about the same time. So there'll be a lot of work on 199, Route 9, so be forewarned.
The sandwich shops will make a lot of business, and then on top of that, the state gave us some notice. I think we talked about it at one meeting where just north of the village, they say at the old Post Road juncture point on 9, they're gonna start a major resurfacing project on the state highway, Route 9 North.
That's after the fair.
We were kinda hoping they'd come to the village too and do 9 for us here, but not in this project.
How far north of
Columbia County.
It was, I forget the end point, but it was like 20, 30 miles somewhere.
I think it's up to Columbia County.
there? Are they going all the way up to, 80, or Bellsworn? 23?
You know, I saw the end point, Steve, but I don't remember where it was. I was more concerned with where it was with regard to the village center.
It was the last month highway report, so if you go online, look at last month's highway report, it tells you the beginning and end.
I can tell you, they've already resurfaced from Bell's Pond on Route 9H all the way up to Route 66.
Oh, yeah.
Route 66 into Hudson, and they're doing Route 66 into Chapman.
Busy.
I had heard that Upper Red Hook was next on the list.
Yeah. So if you commute north, you need to know it. It's gonna be,
Gee, when are they gonna do 9G?
I know 9G is a little bit difficult. I was talking to the Bard folks at one of the Red Hook Together type meetings, and with that new Two Boots Pizza, there was more pedestrian action, and Bard's looking to see if they can get the state to somehow drop the speed limit or something there. So it's outside our purview, but I would support if they needed anything. It's
I think they're hiring a security guard to assist people to cross.
which sounds a little intense. But anyway, yeah, 9G is pretty rough. But anyway, if I would ask you folks to give me a motion to go to executive session for personnel
So moved.
considerations. Okay. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
We'll be back. All right. I show 8:30, could we have a motion to reconvene the regular meeting from executive?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, 8:30 PM, we're back in regular session, and, no other business that I know of tonight. We're on, July 2nd meeting, summer schedule here. I think, we need a motion to pay bills after audit.
So moved.
And
Second.
In between the next few days, get in there and sign that master sheet. And then, Mr. Brent, would you like to make your motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn this meeting of July 2nd.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. All right, everybody.
I think that's a record.